Gary Nossing, Tongue City Council.
And Sarah Brown and Cheryl Beatty is by Zoom.
By Zoom.
Great.
No, John. Okay.
So these are the minutes we actually have to.
Yeah, so there's a couple things on your staff. So the first thing is about serial communications. It'd be good to look over that. And then we need to get public meeting training on the books. So we can do it. Sure.
Talk about that during your comments.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We gotta just stick with the meeting approval.
Yep.
Approval meeting.
So, then there's the minutes from the work session, the joint work session. We need to add that to the agenda. And then there's the single sheet about the rings. So we need to add that to the agenda as well. So those will both need motions to add them to the agenda.
I move that we add the approving the meeting minutes to the agenda.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, the meeting minutes for the joint work session, June 1st, 2026 to the agenda.
Second.
Okay. Take a minute to review them.
I think you need to confirm with.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to add it to.
The meeting,
We set a vote, take a vote.
we'll call the question on, to add this, all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Unanimous.
And then before we, yeah,
I also move to make a motion that we add the conversation about ramps and letter from Hope Shire to the agenda.
I'll second.
I will call the question, those in favor say aye.
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 Yeah. Great, that. Seems good to me. Does anyone have any questions or still need a little more time?
For the minutes.
Yep, for the minutes.
Okay. I can ask a question, please.
Yep.
sure.
So on the first, well, it's page 4 of mine that I have here. It's about the comments about the permits. It was affirmed that while the agency generally does not pay applicant permit fees, exceptions can be made. So is that kind of our consensus? Or I thought that we made an exception, but standard practice would still be not to pay permits.
Sorry, Cheryl, I think maybe you're looking at something different. We're right now reviewing the workshop meeting minutes from the joint session with City Hall.
Oh, sorry, I don't have those, so that's okay.
I'm gonna move that we approve the joint session meetings workshop from June 1st, 2026 minutes.
I second.
Great, I will call the question. Those in favor, say aye.
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 Nays. The ayes have it. We've approved the first minutes, the workshop meeting minutes. Do we have to approve the last regular session as well? Correct. Okay. Let's all take a minute from your principal packet. And so Cheryl, this is where you'll be able to ask your question. We just need a minute to get on the same page.
Okay.
Cheryl, what page number was that on that you are focusing on regarding the
Page 4.
permit? Page 4, if you-
Yes.
Yes. Clear your line. Do you not like the way it's written there? I feel like it just said that we can make exceptions, but generally we don't pay the permit, and that's my understanding.
Did you ask me a question, Garrett? Because
I-
it
Yeah, I
is
know it's
hard to
hard.
understand.
I was just asking your question, I guess, I'm curious what it is, because it does say we generally don't pay permits, but exceptions can be made. I don't see an issue with that in our minutes.
I just wondered what our standard practice was going to be. That we don't pay permits, but we do make exceptions like we did with this one. Is that
That would be my understanding.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
okay?
To me, I think getting through the permit process is part of the development, pre-development buy-in. But once again, in this situation, very different.
And I have a couple comments.
Cool, thanks for.
Okay, page 5, under bills, payments, financial reports. First bullet, the downtown share project was identified as the T-Mobile building parking lot project. No, it's not a parking lot project, it's second floor apartments.
Yeah,
Okay,
Second.
that was the. Yeah, I think, I didn't catch that.
and then, and the third bullet down, it's spelled KNUDSON.
For Jones.
Jones Knudsen, but Knudsen is not spelled with a T, it's spelled with a D.
What?
Okay.
No, yeah, Ruth,
I think so.
with that, I move that we.
Wait a minute, wait.
Hold on, never mind.
Yeah, that's it.
With that, I move that we approve the minutes with the amendments mentioned for the meeting on June, no, what was it? May 13th, 2026. Thank you.
I would second that with the changes made by Ruth.
Okay, I'm gonna call the question. Those in favor say aye. Nays?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The meetings are approved with their conditions. Okay, public non-agenda items. Hey, you're on the agenda.
I am on the agenda.
And Hope. John, now good time to deal with Hope's letter, because it was not on the agenda, or?
Yeah, so if you wanna talk about it, you ask or entertain a motion to add an agenda item.
We've already
did
had
that this morning.
We've already
or
had
Earlier, but I think. I would suggest doing that during the discussion of the extension. There's,
But not the same thing.
I know, but it will. There's
During project
already
updates,
two, yeah,
well, no, she's on here for requesting move funds, not for the extension.
the extension's also in there.
Gotcha.
Oh. We got two separate letters.
Yeah,
Yeah. June 2nd and June 3rd.
yeah,
So I guess there's no, non-agenda items.
Doesn't seem to.
Great. Bills, payments, financial reports.
I have a question.
Please, Ruth.
On page 10, you go down to it says net operating income. Is that what I want? Why is it so much over the operating income? That was my concern. How did we end up with that?
I apologize. what
We
line
went,
item?
okay, well, it's not a line item, you just have to go down the first page of these things.
Yeah,
So you come down to the part, where it says net operating income,
yes,
okay, and apparently we're 436.76% outside the budget here, because we budgeted 132,000 and we're over budget by 145, and I wanted to know why where all that came from.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Sean.
we discussed this at the last meeting, we had the exact same question. It's
Did I?
in minutes.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's because we've had higher revenues coming in,
Oh, okay.
and that's where you're.
Right, this time I'll try to remember.
Okay, great. Are there any other questions or comments on this? Well, then. Are we good to keep moving forward? Okay, committee reports, proposal and justification committee, we are temporarily still on hold via consensus of the board.
Wait a second. What about page 12?
Oh. So we can,
Does that fit in? Comes right after the finances things.
yeah, sorry, I was thinking.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
And so, on these outstanding loans, so I was wondering if the board could, recommend that we send for these balloon payments, 1 month in advance of the payment, letter of reminder is sent. to These people.
Mhm.
Do we have a policy or what do we do now?
No, we don't,
I like your idea.
so that way they at least say a heads up, hey, guess what?
Is that easy enough to use there?
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sale.
I do have in here a letter that I sent to Lisa with her updated,
Right.
her updated terms and just to make sure that she remembers that she needs to provide, information so that to be considered forgivable,
Okay.
so I did do that, and then, Victor had asked me to send one to the Bouchards about 116 Stillwell, but because. Or, sorry, for 110, but because. They're asking for an extension, we decided that didn't need to happen, so.
Yeah, we did it. All right, the only other thing is, I was wondering if, board would mind if Sarah reached out to Tillman Vision, just to see what their FTE increase has been to date. I mean, the other half of their, loan it isn't eligible, well, could be eligible before then, I guess, for forgiveness until 4/30/27, so that's a ways off, but it would just be interesting to know how they're doing and finding 4.5 FTE to fulfill that.
Mhm.
No, they may have already reached it. Those are my comments.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
have a question on that page. Chair, Matt.
Yes, Cheryl?
Miss- Yes, I have a question on that page. We have, we have Burchard, but don't we have Todd Burchard and we have Hope Burchard? And shouldn't we designate so that people know that the funds are being given to two different, you know, people, or is it the same people?
Yeah. Or is it the same organization?
It is not the same organization, they're done as different businesses, correct?
So from my understanding, on the agenda, we have 4 items from you. One being reimbursement requests for 24,000 or so for the work that's completed for this last month. 2, a letter requesting to move some money from one of those categories to a new painting category. 3, a letter requesting that we work with TURA to help you guys get repair the driveway to the TURA lot. And 4, a road extension letter, and all of those should be from 108 Stillwell LLC.
So she's talking, we have a sheet that gives us kind of our outstanding loans.
Okay.
And it lists the project, the address, and then the owner. And so there's 3 of them that say Bouchard, but my understanding is they're all different businesses.
You're right, for the different
Correct.
loans, for like 116 and 110, yes, those are all
Correct.
different entities.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, and so they're delineated in my stuff. Because I know which business goes with which, and actually they're listed here under their business names and the project, it says 110 Stillwell. Fantasy, and then 108 Stillwell.
I see.
So those are the names of them, but if you want me to do like a first initial last name.
Yeah.
I could do that too.
Transparency and clarity, I agree with Cheryl, we need to keep it the same across all the documents. I think that is
That's fine.
one time fix, we should be good.
Yeah.
Great, do we need to make a motion on that, or is that
Nope.
something that needs to be taken care of?
Making a note now.
Great, thank you. Okay, is there anything else in bills, payments, and financial reports?
No, sure.
All right, are we good to move on to committee reports? Number one, Roseville Justification Committee, temporarily on hold via consensus of the board, there's nothing to report. We'll move on to number two, the contract committee. Garrett, I believe it's you.
Yeah, probably a combination of me and Ruth and listen, trying to, we do two. With two items we covered in the last.
Just one.
It's just one, okay, you know better than I know, I need you. You kind of, we, I just,
I always forget everything.
I just, you,
Yeah.
I agree.
So, everybody, I think, was sent copies of all of the documents from 108 Stillwell and their request for reimbursement, and they had everything they needed. So it's $24,771.82. We all looked it over and, I don't know, did you ever actually go over there again?
I did, I feel like I went over it for our last meeting,
Yeah, you did.
yeah, and checked it.
Basically the same.
I think now the big project was the parking lot.
That's coming up, that's coming this year. We just finished the excavation and after we're ready for.
Yeah, all the stuff on the checklist was, done, and you could. Bring a lot of improvement, yeah.
All right. Any questions for the contract committee? Then if we're all set, I'd like to move on to number three, committee to secure financing. It looks like that starts on page 15. Do we want to take a minute to flip through it, or Tom, do you want to just jump right into it?
Well, is that okay, Ruth?
Yeah.
And then Ruth will add, Ruth and I had a Zoom meeting with David Ulbrich, I can't say his name well. And he's a gentleman who specializes in helping find money for groups, agencies like ours. He spoke with us and asked us a number of questions, which to Ruth's credit, she was able to give him answers almost immediately, and if she didn't have the answers for him immediately, she was able to dig them up and get them to him in rapid fashion after that meeting was over. And what he needed information, because what he wants to do is he wants to put a package together for this group that will conform with. It'll be a package that will eventually secure more funding for this agency for loan out again or grant out. And I'm saying the word a lot. At any rate, this package will eventually, after it is approved by us, then it will go off to financial people, then search financial institutions to say, hey, do you want to loan some money to the Tillamook River Renewal Agency? And this package that he delivers to the banks will show them how we have the ability to pay back the loans to the banks. And so right now, he's gathering all the elements that he has to put into this package for our approval, that he can go out and search for money for us. And he lives in a different world, guys. I mean, the monies and the dollars that he's turning over his head and presenting to Ruth and I is overwhelming for me, actually. But he breaks it down to where it's very, very understandable for the likes of myself. And Ruth, did you want to add on to that?
No, that was basically our meeting with him, and
Yeah.
I think in this little report, he was sent the budget and actuals that he wanted, and so. And he did send us the agreement. The agreement is part of your packet, and you'll know it starts off with SDAO, which is Special Districts Association of Oregon. And it's pretty much out of date.
Is this the one that's dated June 23rd, 21?
Yeah, so it's, 5 years old. Anyhow, so this was made when we went out the last time.
Yeah,
And, we did ask him to send us agreement. I thought maybe he would make it so that we could actually look at it and approve it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Anyhow, and then there's a kind of the last few pages, starting on page 20, the exhibit A. It's apparently put together in 2024, so that's only 2 years out of date. I was gonna suggest that maybe Samantha and Tom and I can get together, go through this, bring it up to date, and then send it back to him and say, these are changes that you need to make, and then send us one that we can actually give to the board.
To vote on.
Yeah,
it seems to me, the fact that he sent over documents that were generated in 2021, and another document that was generated in 2024. It doesn't sound like much has changed as far as the rules are concerned, rules that he has to follow to acquire something for us, so. These will pretty much be templates of
yeah,
the current one that we will hopefully. Now, he has made no promises as to whether he can find us some money, number one. And number two, he did not indicate to us how much he can get us to borrow from the institutions. That is up to him, for him to find out yet. So he's still got a lot of work on this palette, but at least he's got some information to us on a document that we can review and present to you guys with your approval.
Yeah.
So we can tell him to go ahead for. Also, he's not charging any money for any of the work that he's doing. He does not get paid until a bank comes to us and says, we've heard David's pitch to us, and we're gonna give you the money that he's asking for you. And then his fee will be paid out of the proceeds from the loan that we get from the bank. So no money is going out for the research that he's doing at this point. We won't get paid until it's funded.
yes,
Yeah, and he has secured funding in the past.
Yes.
So there's no reason to believe he won't this time. So there's nothing to vote on now, because this is not updated. There's no motions need to be made. It sounds like you've got a plan for how the next steps.
yeah, we're gonna get together in July.
Okay.
8 or 9 this week will be again to kind of go over the document that he sent us that's dated in 2021 and 2024.
That would probably be July 8th, that's what you're doing.
Well, I was gonna send out an email.
Yeah,
So, okay.
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to number 4, the city council liaison report. Is that Garrett?
Is that me or is that you, Sean?
That's-
Okay, so I think the only thing we did was, direct Sean to do the business of trying to get the intergovernmental agreement with the city contracts. That's kind of the only TURA piece, that he's gonna do that by himself. I don't think we're having another member do it, even though we offered. Great, that's fine, so you can expect to have some conversation with Sean.
I like Sean a lot, sounds nice. Hopefully a Mountain Dew or a cup of coffee.
I think that's, no, all we, that's in the city council side.
Okay, alright, so number 4, any questions on number 4? I guess it's got it. Let's move into new business. Resolution number 2026-001, a resolution adopting the Tillamook Urban Renewal Agency budget for fiscal year 2026-2027, public hearing and adoption. Do we have any paperwork on this particular thing?
Yep. It should be page 28 is the resolution through page 30.
You can go in public hearing first, right, Sean?
Yeah,
Here. Oh.
We don't have the
Shall we
IGA, do we?
Public hearing first.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So sorry, I was getting everything about that.
Oh, I have to read about public
I
hearing.
think so.
Is there something, piece of paper I've got, or?
This, like this.
Oh, yeah, I think I blew my, maybe it's really just starting to just to go, okay, I have to specifically read this information section, or will I have to?
Is there a word about public hearing, Sean?
I don't know. Thanks, John.
Straight back.
Are you talking about the budget or the IGA?
The budget.
Talk about the budget, we gotta open a public hearing, you have to read a little blurb to open it.
And this would be for the Senate review, would be the budget. So we're open the public hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to provide public notice for the during the budget.
Use me.
Right, that's how it is. Okay, and changing mayor and city utility for TURA wherever necessary. And instead of land use, public budget. Okay, we are hereby going to be opening a public hearing to address the following, the 2026 to 2027 fiscal year budgets. The purpose of this hearing is to provide the public with an opportunity to submit testimony concerning the 2026 to 2027 budget. We will begin the order of business with the staff report followed by public testimony. In conducting this hearing will be the staff report and then public testimony. Any interested person may present testimony for or against an item or entity. If you wish to speak, I will recognize you, and any questions should be addressed through me. When you come to the table, please state your name and address for the record, as this hearing will be taped. Since we have other items on the agenda this evening, I would encourage those wishing to speak to keep testimony concise and to the point. To the staff, have we received any correspondence on this matter other than those included in the agenda items?
No.
Public testimony. Does anyone wish to speak on this matter? Okay. Then with that, we will close the hearing.
Well, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, let's go for it.
It's, okay, so do we want to ask the public or what do we? Or
Once you close the public hearing, then you can have a conversation.
is that how it works?
Okay, we close the public meeting. Okay, if no one's speaking on this matter, I'm going to close the public hearing and the public testimony portion of the hearing is now closed.
Now we have this.
Now we can make comments.
Now is the board to make comments.
Okay, so on page 31. You can see expenditure description underneath general fund, it's line 11. I know that when we had when we had the budget hearing, we talked about adding, it should say internet web services and software, because that tells us that this includes the software that we pay for, I think, book.
Yep.
And which is why it's $2,000 and not a lot less than that, so anyway, I would appreciate it if that could be fixed.
It,
It is important.
Yeah,
no, I understand that, it's not showing the whole category.
it's in there, is what
It
you're
is
saying.
in there,
It's in the actual paperwork.
and it will, when you get your budget. Which is,
Well, the little finance page, okay,
it should be in there, I was told that we're not allowed to change it until July 1st, because it can't be,
yeah,
so it will be.
You might need to get it the full name, internet web services slash
And software,
software.
Yeah.
So we should see that when we define budget.
correct,
it doesn't make any sense if it doesn't show up, because agency community meeting expense is not any longer than this, and it shows up.
I don't know.
It may be, I'm not an accountant, but I use QuickBooks a lot, it might just be a subcategory within this one. does that make sense? Like if if I were to just have a P and L come out and said subcontractors, it said 300,000, then you have to click through into there to find plumbers and electricians.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the point is that if anybody picking this up can look at this and say, okay, this money goes to web services and software, it's not just web services,
Mhm.
that's what it says here. Well, we'll wait and see what happens in July.
okay.
And it'll be a big spot.
Trust and see.
Okay. Is there any more discussion on the budget?
Just a quick question, and I should know the answer because I was at the meeting, but on page 29. Under requirements, halfway down the page's requirements, line item 4. Where we transferred out to the general fund, so the year before we transferred out 250,000. This year we're transferring out 500,000, that's $250,000 difference, and it caught my eye, and I know that this was probably brought to our attention the night of the budget hearing, but I forgot why there was such a huge difference.
Can I guess that it's because the amount of revenues that we're receiving has increased?
I feel like Jamie said Jamie said something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're larger, so that's why the issue is large.
No.
I'm satisfied with that.
Good question. It's also.
And that's, yeah, and that's because we've been doing such a great job and the tax base has gone up and the amount of money that people have to pay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I move that we pass a resolution adopting the Tacoma Urban Renewal Agency budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027.
As presented,
With, yeah, we had it.
Yeah, just notice this.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? I'll call the question, those in favor, say aye. Nay. The ayes have it. This is,
not so tough.
Thanks for working. Moving through this 60-page packet.
cool. Pending
You
business.
still have the number 2.
Oh, sorry, number 2. Number 2, the intergovernmental agreement with the city of Tillamook. So everyone's aware that our agreement has,
Just for the record, I am willing to step out for this discussion if you deem necessary, as I am the lead negotiator for the city on the other side. But I leave it up to the board to determine what.
I mean, I don't have.
Should we let go what our plans are? Negotiation team.
So is there a negotiation meeting?
I don't know if there's any books between these two, but.
We can't set anything up until you guys authorize somebody from your board to meet with me to do it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Right. Okay, so I guess that's the order of business we need to figure out is setting up who will communicate with you. Is it can it be more than one person, or does it just have to be?
It could be whomever you want.
Well, I know that I'm not in a position to make motions, but probably Ruth and I.
I like that.
I think, yeah, I go home with that, we should make that a motion, so we're just prepared. So I move we appoint, Victor General Ruth LaFrance to the intergovernmental agreement negotiating team with the city of Tahoe.
I'm second.
Okay, any further discussion? I will call the question, those in favor say aye,
Aye.
those opposed, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it, Ruth and I, we will. We'll do the negotiations, we'll coordinate on when we can get together and then we'll reach out to debrief.
So can I ask a question about this?
Yes, please.
So we take what we've got here,
That's our starting point, yeah.
okay, and so we just go through it and say, these are things that we'd like to see changed or whatever, then we bring that to you, you bring your other part to us, and then we all sit down and chat about it.
I think we could probably knock most of this out in about an hour if we really put our minds to it.
Do you have no idea how many hours we put into this to make this?
I know,
That's good though, if you take some, I mean, that's good for us, I'm not interested in a bunch of drastic changes.
I don't think anybody, either one of us are looking for drastic changes, but.
Okay.
But yeah, if you, I mean, we can talk about this later, I don't wanna take a ton of the board's time, but. If you guys will, exactly as you proposed, bring the things that you think you might wanna have changed, I will bring the things that I think the city will want to have changed. And we'll have a meeting of the minds and see where we're at.
Okay.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
And I think I'll be directing this to Sean. What is typical when it comes to an intergovernmental agreement, like what you guys are already discussing? How long is a typical agreement for? 5 years, 3 years?
It depends, most are usually 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
But that's a term of negotiation that we can
Okay.
negotiate,
All right.
right? We could theoretically, I'm not sure if there's Oregon law, sometimes the states will have laws about this, and I'll have to research that for this specific situation.
Yeah,
But theoretically, we could take it until TURA is dissolved and all debts are paid, right? We, in theory, negotiate that as a term, that this is our intergovernmental agreement. And we want it to run through the life of the organization and others, but the reason you do shorter terms is because things change, times change, and there may be things that need to be addressed, so there's good and bad to those types of long-term stuff, so I would trust that your group would discuss the timeframe that you want. The city will come with a timeframe that we think is appropriate, that's one of the negotiating points that we will
okay.
have.
Okay.
I have one more question. So what's the time frame on putting all this together? I mean, we aren't gonna meet with the board again until July. And so we can meet with you, we can bring back what you've got. And so this actually isn't gonna be
So
done until August.
theoretically, if you guys are authorized to make decisions on behalf of, I'm authorized to do contracts on behalf of the city council. So I don't have to take, well, I'll double check that for my city council members in the room, but once we have negotiations done and everything's wrapped up, have an agreement in principle, then it's just taking back to your next board meeting. So it's however long stuff takes. There will be a couple things that will probably cause delay, but I'm not gonna talk about that in open meeting. I'm
That's
happy to
fine.
talk about the as we schedule things.
Okay. So at least,
And it's nothing about the agreement itself.
yeah, okay, so one would think that by August we would have it together.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Great.
May I ask a question?
Yes, Cheryl.
Ruth,
Yeah.
without the IGA, will that impact David's work in securing a loan for us? Monies?
I don't think so, because we're not really going to be able to get a loan until towards the end of August or probably September at the earliest, and so this IGA should be done by then.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Okay, does that satisfy number 2?
Mhm.
Then pending business,
It's like the stuff we added to the agenda. Like,
that's what it feels like to me, but. Or no, that would be down on agenda items or all
it should be on agenda, if it's bad, it should be
No,
down.
and but I don't think it's pending,
It should be under new business.
yeah,
Okay, so.
no,
We don't have that.
Oh, so we're in new business right now.
No. We don't actually have any business.
No, it's at the very top,
We just added 2 things to it,
right here.
to the agenda.
Oh, way up there.
I know, I interpreted it as a header. Okay, so then let's stay in new business and. Sarah, do you have the order in which we announce them or voted on?
we already did the minutes, so it's just the rant.
Just the rent.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
Get ready for.
yeah, get ready.
Alright.
Do we need Hope to read her letter, or would anyone like to hear from Hope what was going on, what the process was, or was my communication with the board, got everyone up to speed? How would you all like to move forward with this?
So if you just give us a quick recap of what you're asking for, what you've done.
So just to give a little bit of background, We are currently in the process of, like I told you earlier, we're about to, pour concrete over at Monterey, which we expect to do Friday and Monday. We are also in the process of repairing the sidewalks across the streets, over by 105 Stillwell, which is the warehouse that the Kimball's used to own. There are 3 sections of sidewalks that are crumbling, and we're gonna fix them. In that process, we noticed that the ramp entrance to the TURA parking lot on Stillwell is pretty crumbled. There's a bit of a hole where it's kind of caved in, and it's a bit of hazard. I know that fixing sidewalks and having a safe, accessible walkways is a big priority short to TURA. So we would like to help you guys fix it. We believe that the value we can bring is that, it's a relatively small job. If you go and ask a contractor to come out and fix it, it's gonna be a lot more expensive if you're just fixing that one little spot for the mobilization fee and, it's kind of I don't really wanna do this, but here's the big enough number that to make you kind of do it. Versus if we already have contractors out there doing all this other concrete work, we think that the total cost to TURA and our constituents would be a lot lower. We haven't gotten an actual bid on this, but we are willing to guarantee that it will be under $3,000. If by any reason it's over that amount, we will cover the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a letter or email to the board, which now I'm learning whether or not that was even appropriate to do, but, when I spoke, to repeat again, when I spoke with Todd, I made it very clear that I cannot make one-on-one agreements or deals or anything on behalf of the board, but that I bring it to the board. I personally would like to see us find a way to do this because, we've been put our money where our mouth is about civic infrastructure, work collaboratively. My thought process was because we can't just vote on things or award money for things that we weren't in contract on that are retroactive, that my solution would be to offer the amount as a credit off of your final interest on a loan. So that way, we're not voting or violating or changing our laws to try to pick something up that's already done, but we can recognize the partnership. Other comments or thoughts?
If I may, so one other option to this that you may like more, may like less, is we can just ask our contractor to create a separate invoice for TURA, but it's not, marked up as if they did it as a solo project. It's marked up as if it was, just part of our bundle of work, but it's billed directly to you guys, so you don't have to worry about like reimbursing us or doing anything like that. You can just pay them directly.
I think that's a good idea.
That's great.
It's simple.
What was the amount of it?
3,000.
No, we're not sure.
3,000.
Oh.
Can I ask?
Oh, sorry.
Alright, did you guys buy Kimball's at the Kimball's warehouse?
We bought the warehouse and then we're under contract to close on the hardware store itself on October 1st.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with this, long as, the 3,000 is the max, I think that's fair.
Can someone give me clarity then on the steps that are being taken for to accommodate the need?
We're kind of still figuring that out. I had one solution, which would be to credit, interest later. But Hope and Ruth had the same solution, which is we just get the invoice directly from the contractor. And then we just pay the contractor for TURA directly.
I'm so on that. Okay,
Cool.
sorry, I didn't.
And yet, look at the picture and then walk it does need to be paired.
Oh, yeah.
So, sure, so I appreciate the, work, the collaboration.
Yeah. Okay, wow, do we need to make a motion on how to deal with this?
Yeah.
Uh,
Or Cheryl's
Victor,
question?
what is standard business practices in a situation like this? Isn't there a penalty for having the extension as well as additional interest on that? And I am at a disadvantage because it is very difficult to hear, as you know, Victor. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm talking about something you've already talked about, I'm sorry.
No, we're just not quite where you are yet. Once again, you're ahead of us.
Oh,
Right
okay.
now, post potential reimbursement for the joint sidewalk repair going into TURA lot. And
Right.
It seems like we're moving towards, rather than, a forgiving of debt or something like that, that we're gonna just take over the contract from the contractor, but that hasn't been voted on yet. Do you have any questions or thoughts about page,
It's not.
oh, it's an addendum, so she may not, the letter from Hope.
Is it page 34?
No, I think it's outside the document, but I did forward Hope's email to everybody.
Oh,
It's on a piece of paper that's dated June 3rd at the top. June 3rd.
okay. All right, I may not have it in my packet then, right?
Well,
Right, it's outside the packet.
We're
I
gonna
have-
pay $3,000.
I have one
for
June
this,
2nd. I have one June 2nd to the board, and it's page 35. Was there something additional after that?
Yeah, there's another one that's June 3rd, you probably don't have it. And basically, it's, there's a sidewalk section that's part of the ramp to the TURA parking lot. It's all broken up. And because the Bouchards are already fixing sidewalks on that side of the street, what they've, brought to us is that they will have their contractor fix this. And then the contractor will bill us directly for that cost, and it will be less than $3,000.
And what does that have to do with the $350,000 that's
Nothing.
due on the
It has
15th?
nothing- Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with that at all. This is a totally
Okay.
separate.
And they will be separate? Okay,
Yeah, they are separate.
okay, thanks.
good. Okay, Ruth, you were about to make a motion.
I was, okay, I move that, that we, have, the Bouchards, fix the ramp at the TURA parking lot, on Stillwell. And then that the work for that section of fixing will be billed directly to TURA, and it will be less than $3,000.
Sorry.
Any more discussion? I'm gonna call the question, those in favor say aye, those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Great solution. Wow. That's an ultimate solution.
Got a lot of bright people.
Okay,
Okay, now. There's anything else in new business, right? The loan extension?
That's it, it's
No,
down in
That's
the,
the project updates.
yeah,
But this, yeah, I'm just confused and not trying to be a stickler, but I see number 2, 108 Stillwell LLC request to move funds, but I don't see them specifically asking for the extension in project
Oh,
updates.
so
they'll go together.
The deal, it'll just go together, we don't, it doesn't need to physically be written out, okay? Great, then let's move back into the sidewalk project. I don't have any huge updates right now, I know things are still moving along with engineering. I know we've got some invoices, I'll just reach out to Kyle and try to get a little more information, see how it's going. That's all I have on that. Number 2, 108 Stillwell LLC request to move funds.
I thought we already did this.
Is it-
this is an additional,
but
This is
Just
a different
more.
one.
this is not an approved. We didn't approve, you guys didn't approve. Painting as a category, I think, right?
That's
true.
true, so a new category, okay.
Right, so she's wanting to add a category, basically.
all right, I'll give us a little explanation.
So when you were requesting to move, I believe it's around $6,000 off the top of my head, but correct me if I'm wrong. From the windows category, to painting, which is a new category that was not previously approved by you guys. We came way under budget on our windows, which is a little bit of a win.
Good.
But we've been moving forward with painting, as you guys have seen, we're all done with the exterior and we're working on the interior. And we're requesting, to move that money to painting, since we won't end up using it for windows, we're pretty much done with those. And apply that to painting instead for reimbursement.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, if I recall, the only reason we didn't agree to painting was just because we were just cutting the system up in a lot of different ways, so there was no like diversion to paint. Does anyone else have any comments or questions? Should we make a motion?
I make a motion that in regards to, is this the 108 Stillwell property? The 108 Stillwell project, that we reallocate the amount of $6,614 from the Windows budget category to a new category called the painting category. And that's not increasing the amount that we're loaning to them at all, it's just reallocating the funds.
Second.
Any further discussion? I'm gonna call the question. Those in favor say aye.
I,
Nays? The ayes have it. Allows for the reallocation. Okay, and so now the second half of that, this is the short-term loan extension. Page 35. Just take a minute and read through the letter. All right, we'll let Hope speak on this.
Yeah.
Hope, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First off, I just like to start by saying thank you again to you guys for your continued support, and without it, we would not be able to have made as much progress as we have, and that's amazing. I'm coming to you with this letter requesting a 3-month loan extension on our short-term loan. Currently, our balance of, it would be 350 since we haven't used the full amount, but approximately 325, somewhere in there, is currently due on the 15th of this month. We were requesting a 3-month extension to have that balance due on September 15th of this year. The reason we're asking for this is because we cannot pay that full balance back right now. We've had some delays with our project, like, for example, just the other week we found out that we had to replace our sewer lateral. So we've been working on that, getting permits for it, getting inspections for it, all of that, and these things have put us a little bit behind. And in order to be able to pay back the 350, we need to be able to have the 108 project complete. Have done our approval for occupancy, have people moved in and get, have them in there for a month or two, so that we can take that to a bank and get refinancing to be able to pay back the full 350 amount. Our previous estimate of when we were complete was a little bit earlier than what it's gonna look like in reality. We're estimating that we're gonna be done first or second week of July right now.
Okay,
What was the issue, what permitting issue did you run into?
We just had to replace our sewer lateral, which we were not initially expecting, so we had to get the permitting with the city to be able to do that. Among some other delays that we've had, but
and so you think it'll be done in July, so this gives you the runway to get your tenants back in there.
exactly,
And then get your refinancing done.
exactly. Second week of July at the latest.
Yep. I mean, I
I see.
understand it. Sure, go for it.
I would like to see a more formal letter requesting this. Hope, I know you're learning as you go along, but I would like to see a more formal letter that explains and justifies why we should do this, not just as a casual favor, that we're doing it. So I would like to see a more formal letter with justification of why.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you for your feedback, Cheryl, I appreciate that. What I said just now to the board, to kind of consolidating that into letter form, would that be something that feels sufficient, or is there any further explanation or, things that I can provide that you feel would help you make an informed decision?
I think what would probably help, when you first sold this project, you guys had a really great outline for how to get tenants back in there, and then what the stage were gonna be to get the refinancing.
Yeah.
And I think just any supplemental information you can bring to that, even if it seems redundant, like we know that you have some clients that are coming back,
Yeah.
but perhaps some of that information could get in there. Ruth?
yeah, so, if we do not make this decision tonight, then 5 days from today, the $350,000 is due. So she doesn't really have time to
No.
write a formal letter. I think that she's looking for a decision tonight. I personally am not willing, or don't want to, I guess, go to September 15th. I could see September 1st at the latest. Only because that would be extending it a full, another half. 50%, whatever. It just seems like a long extension.
Yeah, I mean,
Something that was supposed to be short term, on top of which. By September 1st. We should be ready to go to a bank, which
exactly.
means it puts us off another 2 weeks.
And if I remember correctly, we talked about this, the deadline was a big deal.
Yeah,
Because it's a big chunk of change. So I don't have a problem with an extension to September first, but I do want to understand that I have zero appetite to extend it again.
yeah,
This is a big thing we did, a nice thing we did, and I understand your concern, but I am not, I don't think we're in, this was a different level, you know, as far as we ran this, and it was a big chunk of change, so I'm fine with September first, but I don't have an appetite to ask for an extension after that. I also don't have a problem if they're writing a letter, we approving it, pending that letter comes in in the next 5 days, like we've done in the past.
yeah. To me, I think the thing that I wanna preserve the most is their strategic goals that we've set out to, you know, have our capital anchor for infrastructure and to pursue our maximum ability at, you know, our bankability or our capital maximization. And so I think September 1st is fair, because I think that still puts us in that position.
Yeah.
And we get some more interest throughout the summer. I think that Counselor Nostringer's, comments are really important. You know, I think that's probably the best that we can do. Do you think that there's a realistic avenue that you guys can get refinanced by that time?
Definitely, I think that's definitely realistic. And like you already said, a few extra months of interest, I think that's great. And there was like also Cheryl, if you have a question.
Cheryl?
I just wondered, I think standard business practice is that there is a penalty when you do not meet the deadline on the contract. And is there additional interest on for the 2 months?
There will
I'm
be
just wondering.
additional interest. I'm not sure about a penalty, that's something that we could look into.
So in the original contract, to my recollection, please correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, it's if you do not make payment, there's a 30-day grace period, so if you're over 30 days late, then it's a 5% late fee on the balance, so 5% of 2050.
Wow.
To my recollection, but
Well, if we grant an extension, then you're not late.
that's true.
Right. So it just
Can I
changes.
make a motion?
Sure.
Move links to this discussion on, I would make a motion that we extend the due date for the $350,000, should it hit that number, be extended to September 15th. That's my motion.
I think we kind of talked about September first.
I know we talked about September 1st, but I'm saying my motion is for September 15th, but I know what 2 weeks difference can mean when it comes to watching money flow the way you need it to flow.
I do think Ruth makes a good, just a discussion. I do think Ruth makes a good point about by September first, we might need to show that 350 in the bank,
Yeah.
or do we need to go out to get our money from the date?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So one question if I may, in terms of approaching the board for financing prior to September 15th. This may be a question for David, is there any way to show, we have this upcoming balloon payment of 350,000 plus X amount of interest, here's the payment history for this, loan, solid payments, blah, blah. We expect to get this payment in 2 weeks. Would this, act as a substitute for this upcoming money, even if we don't have it in our account yet, this
I mean,
minute balloon payment?
I can't speak for David, but what I've interpreted and learned from in the past. Financial institutions don't always understand what urban renewal is, and so whilst I think the argument laid out could make a lot of sense, I think that our biggest concern is having a big capital war chest and not just a store. And I know that a bank ledger with receipts about people paying on time is more than a story. But at the end of the day, it's really just a promise that something's happening instead of the actual, capital being returned. So I think we will continue to, incorporate that into the pitch for data, but I think we're all kind of on the same page here, that we need the money back.
And this extension, what if granted, is only for the 350, by the end of August, you still owe 100,000.
True.
And that would be paid at the end of August. True.
My follow-up question is. On your side, how big of a deal is September 15th compared to September 1st?
I mean, as Bruce mentioned, we have $100,000 payment due at the end of August. So given that, it may not seem like a lot to you, but that can be very helpful, especially when we have in 2 to 3 months, a total of $450 and some change in interest on block due to you guys. That'd be very helpful. We are in the process of refinancing the 116 ADU, which is the 100,000, and also in the process of refinancing the dairy building, which we have an outgoing balance with you guys for that. So, I, as much as anyone, appreciate the TURA board for its ability to invest in the community and continue reusing that money. So our goal, any long-term or short-term, is to pay you guys back as quickly as possible, because I know that's gonna be a benefit to our community. So if you guys could give that extra 15 days, it would be a huge help, since we are coming up with a large sum very imminently. But I also understand that you have a duty to, you're applying for important lending, excuse me. Yeah, so I understand what it is.
I appreciate the answer, Nick.
So we still have that motion lingering.
Yeah, exactly. It's lacking a second.
I think I have respect for the statement first, in my opinion, just for, I think we made a big deal about this when we started, it was important to get the thing, we're still granting us an extension of over 2 months. I was, yeah, 2 months, so I'm not interested in that, we should respect it.
So this is my first time motion. Not just Don, do I have to say,
Nice.
You can just say the motion dies for lack of a second.
motion dies for lack of a second. Do we have any other motions? Derek?
No, so, go ahead, let's do that again.
Okay, so I'll move that we grant an extension on the $350,000 short-term loan to 108 Stillwell LLC, and the extension will go until September 1st, on which date the $350,000 plus interest will be paid in full.
Second.
Any more discussion?
So a few clarifying questions. So I just wanna make sure I'm understanding correctly that with the loan extension, that we still have our ability to draw on the.
Yes.
Roughly, I think it's like around $30,000.
35,
Yeah. Left of our 350,000, I think that's coming to our meeting first.
Yep.
Sounds good. And then I will be submitting a formal letter to you guys with, the things that Cheryl talked about tomorrow.
I need to amend, I need to amend it,
What do I need to do?
because we want to make sure there's a formal letter within 5 days. That's
Oh,
what that
okay.
includes it.
Right,
Right,
So
so
I-
with the,
so whatever I said before, plus an amendment that says that we are to receive a formal letter which includes your request. And then it outlines everything that needs to be done, right? Okay, details, and as far as what you're gonna be doing and why you need to do it, right? I think that included having people, this is getting very long, but just to be used to that,
there it is.
because I'm clarifying it in my head at the same time. This includes, what you needed to do to get people moved back in again, okay, anyway.
All set.
And so it's due, in your letter is due no later than the 15th of June.
I'll
Sounds
second that a bit to the push.
Okay,
So on my letter, I'll be submitting that tomorrow. Sarah, I know you're out that, okay. I can forward that. Okay, sounds great, yeah. And then I would just like to ask that if there's anything, that doesn't give the full information you're requesting, or any piece you'd like to see, that you can let me know, so I can resubmit before that deadline, just so I can make sure you guys have everything you need. For all that. Okay.
all right. Shall I call the question?
Just make sure you share what's going on before you.
Yep. Okay, all those in favor of the motion as is with the extension, and its considerations, say aye.
I,
Those
Aye.
opposed?
I'm not sure what the bill was.
Cheryl, were
Sure.
you breathing or?
Did you vote?
I was breathing a sigh and I said aye.
Aye, okay.
To the motion,
Yep,
to the motion.
okay, the ayes
Um,
have it. The ayes have it. Thank you both.
I do have a question after you get done with that.
Yes, please, take it away.
Ruth, when you mentioned that 100,000 that is due August 31st, that's really Todd that has that due,
Yeah, well, she can take
not
the
Hope.
message back.
Okay, well, all right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we are moving on to number 3, the Beals Building request for extension. Correct.
This is, I'm sorry, I probably don't have a copy of that, right?
There isn't anything.
There is nothing.
Yes,
Presentation by Mr. Phillips.
yes,
Yeah.
Eric, number 4. Sure.
Okay.
Can you hear? Cheryl?
Can I hear you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I'm just asking for an extension to spend money, not to give you that money. We've got, I think, $108,000 left to spend on a grant that I've got, and I just haven't spent money yet. We are, collecting bids for the project on the Beals building. I've just been concentrating on what we call the Heston Plaza building right now. That'll be wrapped up in the next probably 10 days. We're gonna try to get occupancy the end of next week, and then we'll focus on the Beals building. So I think that building came with about $280,000 in grant money. We spent $70,000 repairing the west wall. We spent $100,000 on asbestos remediation and a new roof. So I have spent $31,500 on architectural design. I wasn't going to ask for reimbursement on it because I've just kind of been paying as I go. Just trying to leave that $108,000 intact so that I can use it on bigger line items. We do have a lot of expense coming up there. I've collected a few bids. We've got $100,000 worth of sprinklers going in there. I think it was $103,000 basement, ground floor, apartments upstairs. I've got $260,000 worth of hoods going in there. We're gonna put 6 hood systems in there with fire suppression systems. And about $125,000 was PV expense to get power to the building. I'm building an indoor food hall in that building, so I think we talked about it, Yeah, so it'll have 6 kitchens, a small bar, and an old fashioned candy store in it. So that, we hope to apply for permits by mid-July is my plan. So I want to have permits in place by fall and start construction late fall, early winter. So I would like another 6 to 12 month extension on that grant.
I move that we make a 12-month extension for Terry on the Beals building.
I can leave it in there through September 1st.
that'd be great.
I can leave that $108,000 in there until after you approach your bankers.
That's very thoughtful.
Also, I was just thinking, I'm helping Hope out here.
Yeah. We're all pulling on the same rope here.
Second motion, and my discussion item is just, you can only do as much as you can do as fast as you can do it, so
Right.
I'm totally fine with the extension and. I appreciate all the work, and I also like the updates, you always give us great updates with what's going on, what you plan on going on, things change, they change, so. I'm all in favor of the extension.
Any other discussion?
I just want to ask a question.
Ask your question.
So you're doing the downstairs, the retail part first?
The ground floor will be done first. Yes, but at the same time, like we did the ground floor over here, we do all the structural stuff. So that it can support those apartments, so we'll do all the engineering requirements for that and we'll underfloor. All of the utilities, so when we went to do apartments over here, all the plumbing was stubbed up, the electrical was out there. So we'll do that in conjunction with ground floor. Cause we'll have to cover that floor ceiling in there, you know, we've got this beautiful ceiling we've exposed with all the beams, that we'll have to cover that for fire life safety reasons.
Oh,
So
so
we
all-
want to bury all the plumbing in there as well.
Yeah,
So it's not gonna be like the Newton building where she left the beams open, but then all the pipes run through.
I'm not sure how she got away with that,
Because the roof was concrete.
huh?
She said the roof was concrete, or the
Oh.
ceiling was concrete.
Right. I've been in the apartments, I haven't been in the lower level, there's sprinklers lower level too. We've gotta do our basement this time too.
wow. I mean,
We're doing storage down there, Victor, for the food court. So each person that rents a kitchen space from us will also get 200 to 300 square feet of dry storage down in the basement.
that's awesome.
So we've had to do like a fire corridor down into the basement. It's interesting working with fire life safety, it really changes the game.
Yeah, so this is gonna be sort of like that James Beard food truck hall in Fort Worth. Where it's like all year round inside,
Everything's inside, yeah. There's several now, they're very trendy.
yeah,
I visited, I think probably all of them to try to come up with ideas and just to look at them. And it's very exciting to me to have a climate controlled environment
yeah,
that you can go into and also have a gathering place for the community. That's what I look for. I mean, we all remember, Time, Second Street Market, stuff like that. I want a place that Tom can go, hang out, eat a hot dog while Alice get her nails done. Or before you live in.
well, I love salad rolls, so if we get a Thai truck in there, that'll really be They want,
I call for the question.
call for the question, all right, those in favor, say aye,
I,
those
Aye.
against. Okay, the ayes have it. Attention granted, we appreciate it if you leave it in there through September, I will understand, you gotta move business. Okay, wow. It's good to the end, consent agenda. That starts on page 37, right?
Yes.
yes. Okay. And, when the contract committee looked at, Hope's, request for reimbursement, all of the documents were here, all the paid checks, everything worked out. Well, anyway, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second it,
So.
Cool, any discussion? I'm gonna
yes,
call a question.
second,
Second. Call the question, those in favor say aye,
Why?
aye,
those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, consent agenda has been accepted. Board comments, non-agenda items. Ruth,
We're
no.
supposed to talk about
Yeah.
the meetings you want to make the training.
That's during the director comments.
Oh, I don't see that.
Here.
Oh, yeah, cool, I just think we should wait for you.
Director,
I don't think we have a director. code.
yeah, we have board comments, non-agenda items.
Okay, so, this is my comment, and I'm giving you each one of these. It's 2 pages, it lists private projects, it's a list compiled from October the 9th. Up and through January of, 2019. And so I would, my, question or my comment here is that I would like to see, the board request, Sarah to bring this chart up to date. Because it is obviously way out of date, 7 years worth. But it's really handy to go back through here and say, oh, we did all this, and so this is where we can find out that. At least up until January of 2019, we had spent $1,262,263 on private projects.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to get this updated.
And we get another 976,000 in grants, so it's,
Tom was holding on to him, sorry.
I didn't know what I do.
I just thought it kept going, I mean, that's.
Hot dog, you know.
Yeah.
I was all about it.
He's eating his hot dog there.
So basically, it's just like everything that we've done thus far, and it's,
Well, not this far, only up until 2019.
yeah, oh, that's 2019, and we wanna get it to be up thus far, so that way it's a more quickly referenceable document.
And so I was essentially asking the board if they would mind asking Sarah to, finish this, I just bring it up to date.
Project, right? Go back and find all the stuff that, I'm sure I did, got the problem.
I'm sure it's all
It,
through reports.
yeah, and basically, it's, yeah, it should be, if you went back through and you looked at all of the little charts that you show us, on what we have outstanding. But most of this information is included in those, so it shouldn't be too terribly difficult, it's just gonna be time consuming.
We just probably need a consensus to ask her to do that. Yes, I would assume so.
Don't need a motion.
I don't think so. Okay.
All right,
I'm all for it. I'm all for giving someone else much work to do.
no allowed.
Yeah, no, why?
Yeah, no, understand. Okay, other comments, non-agenda items, would now be a good time to talk about. Great.
Yeah,
So, I made a mistake. I sent an email in not the correct format, and thus it triggered our friend Sean to try to, give us a little education. So,
Just a little nudge.
little nudge in the right direction. Basically, I'm going to jail.
Let me go straight to
So, Eric, you have to take me in. But,
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I just, yes, please, take over. This goes back to our executive session that we tried to have a couple meetings ago. And serial communication, the Oregon Government Ethics Commission, this, the proper acronym OGEC. Requires that quasi-governmental boards such as TURA have certain trainings. The public open meetings training has to happen at least once during a term in office. So with your, whatever term your seat is, that has to be reappointed. However, I recommend as a best practice, we go through it every year. Because it's just easy to remember and to forget things and do. It is a 2.5-hour training. So there's a couple of different ways that we can do it, and this covers, and Garrett can talk about it, hope I think you've taken it as well. The training covers open meetings law, serial meetings, what you can and can't do, talking to each other if you pass on the street, you know, emails back and forth, you know, conversations between, you know, I use this on the city council, like, I'm gonna ask Garrett to stay after tonight to talk about something on the city council, I'm gonna ask Phil to stay after tonight to talk about something for the city council. I can do that with 2 of them because there's not a quorum, but whatever we talk about, the 3 of us, we can't talk to others about, because that would become a serial meeting, right? And so, and then I would disclose that I had that conversation to our meeting on Monday to say, hey, I'm, you know, depending on how those conversations go. So one of those things is we just need to make sure that everybody's had the training. You can do it on your own, but I have found during my career that it's often better to do it as a group because it seems like less of a chore that way. And we can do this in a hybrid fashion where we invite somebody to come via Zoom and they do it. We can also do it via live in person at a meeting. You can choose to do it at one of your regular meetings. You can choose to have a special meeting to do it. But just because, you know, we're trying to train you guys up and make sure that you're a fine-tuned quasi-governmental board, we want to make sure that you get the training and we can hopefully eliminate some of the hiccups we've had over the last couple of months on some of these items. So my recommendation was to have Sarah coordinate and kind of get a feel from the board, in person or hybrid or on your own. I prefer not on your own, if I call shots, but I have no influence here. Then also, Rick, if you wanna do it in person or hybrid, special meeting, you know, different night, maybe during one of your P and J. Nights would be a good time to do that if everybody were available. But just have that meeting so that you can have the training and everybody get on the same page as far as this.
Does Garrett have to join this meeting? You probably did.
Yeah, because it's been more than a year, so I mean, like I said, it should be. I did all day training for it, it was kind of an optional thing, but it was like the first one I was offered in my 4 years of being on city council, so. I suggest we do it in person, have them come in person, I just think it works better. I also suggest we probably do a separate meeting, because we're coming up on an hour and a half on this meeting, I can't imagine on 2.5 hours on top of it.
Yeah.
So we only do one meeting a month, so I suggest, my suggestion is to do a second meeting next month.
I like the P and J time slot.
So, and what we're just gonna ask is direct Sarah to schedule something and we'll, because scheduling something in person does cost a little bit of money, you've got it in your budget. We can take care of that. It's just a matter of getting the OGEC people to come here. I may see if there's members of the city council that need to attend to maybe say, hey, sometimes when they do this, they wanna get, you know, maybe the city council needs something that they wanna do a bigger group than just the 5 or
I think
6.
it's fair to say, none of the city council, I said anything of that training since several years ago, I know.
Yeah,
Since I had it before.
Would it benefit the city council to be invited?
Maybe, we'll talk about it. This is something that I'm working on is onboarding. We've got 5 city council plus the mayor, 4 city council plus the mayor seats that are up on November's election. So we are actively looking at onboarding policies and trying to get a regular schedule of some of this stuff up. So that as we get new people on, we just know that in January, you're gonna get the needs trained.
Okay, well, I like Eric's suggestions personally, I'm going away end of July, so ideally we can squeeze this in. I don't know if you could start on trying to find a person, maybe we could do it. Yeah, no later than the 22nd.
How long are you gone?
I'll be gone the 23rd through the 9th. I gotta go back to New Hampshire.
So, and if we have to do it in August, I'm sure you want it done as soon as possible, what's the time on this realistic?
I don't know because I don't know what OJEC's schedule is. So we will propose the time and say, hey, can you meet up this time? They'll tell us yes or no, and then we'll go from there.
I'm also in favor than me in person, even if it costs a few bucks, and I just feel like I just work information so much better than just doing presentation.
Ruth, any thoughts?
No, I think that's good. It's just gonna be interesting around people, not me.
Yeah, we need to connect them.
I have a thought.
Cheryl?
I have a thought.
Cheryl, go for it.
Okay, it might be good if Sarah could email us and we could email her back our schedules of times that we know we're not going to be here. Like, I know I'm not going to be here most of August. I know Ruth has a trip coming up. You know, we all have commitments. So we could tell her the times we're not available, and maybe she could work out a little calendar and see how that would work with the people that are coming over here.
Is that an appropriate use of email communication?
Yeah, so we can do some things on scheduling, but what we do is, the way we do this is we blind copy everybody. So that you don't reply all and create a serial meeting that way. Everybody emails individually to Sarah, and then Sarah coordinates that and sends out an email saying this is the date for it.
Gotcha, so could you set that
Yep.
and email
Absolutely.
There's also always good chance that you're not gonna be every single person at one time, and that's just.
And we cross those bridges when we come.
Right.
it? But,
Sounds good to me.
all right, well, Sarah, more billable hours. Put this meeting together. Okay, and then on top of that, everybody just take this home and please read through this documents and get familiar with it. And, if you have any questions, I'm sure you can reach out to Sean Willis.
We'll call the Victor.
That's right, that's right, that's absolutely right. Okay. Where's my agenda? Any other board comments, non-agenda items? We're gonna move into correspondence and information. This is the very last thing, I believe,
Yep.
once documents.
So. A while back, we, the board voted to update. The terms for. The Jim Smithson apartments, as far as just updating the, timeline. And so, Ruth had commented that she didn't see a letter get sent out regarding that, so this is that letter. And then on the back is just the forgivable loan terms that are updated. Accordingly.
You got it. Now, you sent us that, are you expecting a response, or is this just kind of an informational letter for her?
I have not, but she, so she is obligated to provide a report on June 30th. I know that right now she's super busy with her upcoming performance. Which is this weekend, so, and I expect that I will see her there, so I will probably. Just say hi, making sure you got it, that's all. And then, but she's really good about paying attention to that stuff, so.
This letter, that letter looks like maybe it's exactly what we asked them to do. I appreciate it.
Got it. Okay. So what actions do we need to take right now on this?
Nothing,
Just an update about
Just an
this is
update.
just nothing,
Thanks, Sarah.
yep.
Okay, I think that, any questions? I think that brings us to the end, and we'll move into adjournments. It is now 7:27 on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. I, Victor Gennaro, the chair of the Tillamook Urban Renewal Board Association, call this meeting
90 minutes, I